So, Hare Krishna. We were discussing all 64 items, and some are there, one two are pending. We will complete 64 principles. Yeah. So in chapter 6, you all have seen what are 64 principles, and we have discussed very nicely. Prahlad Pranprabhu has discussed. So the list are first 10 primary, second 10 primary. Do you all remember? First primary 10 instructions are one should rigidly give this is second. First 5 are about accepting a spiritual master. You know? So without spiritual master, one cannot do Vaidhi Bhakti. You know? This is about sadhana bhakti. We are performing sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti, one should follow with the first and foremost thing is we have to follow the superiors' guidance. Whatever we do without proper guidance is not bhakti. No. So one may be working in the company. If Guru is agreed, okay, he can work in the company also and perform devotional service and go back to it. So sadhana bhakti means no bhava, but Guru's guidance is very important. So first 5, being prepared to give up everything for spiritual advancement, then residing in the sacred places of pilgrimage, accepting what is necessary, and observing fasting during Ekadasi, worshipping sacred trees like banyan tree. These are and worshipping sacred trees like, these are all 10 primary instructions. Second 10 primary instructions are, one should rigidly give up the company of non-devotees. One should not instruct a person who is not serious for devotional service. One should be very enthusiastic about constructing costly temples. One should not try to read too many books. Under guidance, one should read. One should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings. One should not be under spell of lamentation, loss, or jubilation in gain. So these are all 10 secondary instructions. And then here Prabhupada is writing, without following above mentioned 10 principles, one cannot properly elevate himself to the platform of sadhana bhakti or devotional service in practice. So NVOD is the law book of ISKCON. So one should always study it very carefully, how we need to render the service. The bhakti kaise karna hai? So how we have to perform pure devotional service, the clearly 64 principle for sadhana bhakti. On raganuga bhakti, there are different things. On ragatmika bhakti, different things. So here we are talking about sadhana bhakti. So first primary 10, secondary 10 instructions, then 44. So among that we discussed all together. Rupa Goswami mentions 20 items, and all of them are very important. Out of 20, the first 3, namely accepting a bona fide spiritual master, taking initiation from him, and serving him with respect and reverence are the most important. So next 44 items are discussed. Among this, 44 are, and 44 we were discussing about last items. Here we discussed in 10, 11, 12 chapter. जो है should relish the pleasure of Bhagavatam reading. So we discussed about recently last These items we were discussing. One should arrange one's devotional service according to one means. In a Kartik month, how to follow Kartik month. One should make arrangement for special services during Janmashtami. How we need to celebrate. Practically, if you see in ISKCON, major festival is Janmashtami, Sri Krishna Janma. How we celebrate. Are we following anybody or not? If anything we are not following in ISKCON, we all should remind ourselves, Prabhu, this is the most important thing. Why we are not following in ISKCON? So these are the things. Janmashtami, one should do whatever is done with great care and devotion for the deity worship. One should relish pleasure of Bhagavatam reading among the devotees, not among outsiders. One should not. एक लड़का था, in a voice, one devotee was going home always. So I told him to hear some lectures. So he told every time he was telling, yes, bro, I am hearing, bro. Yes, bro, I am hearing. Then one day I asked, what you heard? Then he told, Prabhuji, I am hearing in TV channel. He was hearing only. But what he was hearing matters a lot. So we should note the details. What he is, who is the speaker? Do you know who is the speaker? So what lectures I gave, we should hear that only. So one should associate with devotees who are considered more advanced. One should chant holy name of the Lord, and we will discuss about this holy name. One should live in jurisdiction of Mathura. So we are going to complete 64 items. With this, we are today's this thing. If anybody has concerns or anything, most important 5 items that we will discuss and we'll end. Can somebody read this?
As we have mentioned, the first are the primary 10 regulative principles. Then come the secondary 10 regulative principles, and added to these are 44 other activities. So altogether, there are 64 items for discharging the regulative practice of devotional service. Out of these 64 items, 5 items, namely worshipping the deity, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, associating amongst the devotees, Sankirtan, and living in Mathura are very important.
Out of the 64, first 5 are spiritual. Starting, that is a basic. If one don't have a guru in his life, he cannot perform bhakti. First, Ado Guru Padashraya. Everyone. It's not something Prabhupada is quoting here, something different, here different. No. Whichever book you read, Prabhupada books, he gives first. Even every day when we get up early in the morning, we sing the glories of spiritual master. So who gave these 64 principles? Guru. Guru will explain. Should follow in our life. So the 64, without Guru, we cannot just read and perform bhakti. No, you should have a master. Without master, initiation, Diksha means that is from that actually bhakti starts. Accepting Guru in our life is a foremost thing. And after that, the last 5 items also are very, very, very important. Even in neophyte, the bhava will arise among these 5 items. So we will discuss that. Yeah, we will discuss little more about 64 principles. Okay, can somebody read this also?
Ayan Prabhu. Gautam Prabhu. Okay,
The
yeah,
the
great.
64 items of devotional service should include all of our activities of body, mind, and speech. As stated in the beginning, the regulative principle of devotional service enjoins that all of our senses must be employed in the service of the Lord. Exactly how they can be thus employed is described in the above 64 items. Now, Srila Rupa Goswami will give evidence from different scriptures supporting the authenticity of many of these points.
See, 64 devotional items should include why these 64. Why, one student was asking, what we have to do after reading Bhagavad Gita? By reading Bhagavad Gita, what we will gain? The Bhagavad Gita is meant to understand Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. And those who are not devotees, their mind and senses are not controlled. They cannot employ those mind, senses, and intelligence in devotional service. The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to teach this. Sense gratification is poisonous, enemy for practicing bhakti. Bhakti means giving pleasure to Guru and Krishna. So we have to engage body, mind, and speech in devotional service. As stated in the beginning, the regulative principles of enjoyance, all four of our senses must be employed in service of the Lord. Exactly how they can be thus employed is described in above 64 items. So we discussed about how we need to engage body, mind, and speech. In Krishna consciousness, we discussed about 64 items. Now, why we are reading so many references, Kanda Purana? Why we are not telling about Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam only? So when Rupa Goswami is giving the proofs, he is giving from different Puranas, Vedas, Upanishads and everything. He is quoting different examples to quote for outsiders. When you are discussing about to establish what is our pure devotional service, we should quote from Puranas, Vedas, Upanishads and everything. You cannot just quote Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam because people outside, before ISKCON, the people used to refer Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas. So different Puranas we have to refer, should quote them. What ISKCON is following is not just a imagination. These are all proof items. So that's why Srila Rupa Goswami gave evidences in every 64 items. We have to discuss what is the proof, which Purana it is said. If you go and check, it's not something imaginary. So we all read these things. Now the remaining items we will complete and we will discuss about last 5 items, 5 potent forms of devotional service. So we read about reciting Srimad Bhagavatam among devotees. We discussed the, associating with advanced devotees. So associating with advanced devotees. This is a 63rd item. Sorry, 62nd, 63rd, 64th. We will complete this today. Associating with advanced devotees. So Suta Goswami confirms that if someone is fortunate enough to associate with a pure devotee of the Lord, even for a moment, साधु संग सर्व शास्त्र कहे लवमात्र साधु संग सर्व सिद्धि होए. Lava means 1/10 part of a second. If one associate with sadhu, sarva siddhi hoye. But generally we don't hear even that much also. We hear only from our mind. That's the problem. That particular moment is so valuable that even those pious activities which can promote one to the heavenly planets or give liberation from material desires cannot compare to it. Even what all activities by yajnas, vratas cannot give such a potent that sadhu sangha. Without sadhu sangha, nobody can progress. Like Mrigari, we can transform sadhu sangha, can transform the person, any cruel person, into flower-like devotee. Prabhupada is to tell, we can make crows into swans. So we can make charcoal heart, black hearts. She can shine like a white color. How is it possible? By sadhu sangha. Like Mrigari transformed like a pure devotee, how? By sadhu, like Narada Muni's instruction. Narada Muni transformed Ratnakar. He made him into Valmiki. See how powerful sadhu sangha. Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasi Shudra Kenana, a Krishna Tattva with a say Guru. Guru can be from any caste also. Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulkisha Abhi Rasumba Yavana Kasadaya. Ye Anyecha Papa Yadi Yadi Apashraya Shuddhanti Tasmai Prabha Vishnavi Namaha. ये श्लोक कितना लोग गाते हैं? पढ़ा है आप लोग? किराट पूर्णांध्र पुलिंद पुलकेशा. Can somebody recite that shloka without seeing?
Yatuhuna Andhra Pulinda Pulkasha Abhira Shumbaya Vanakashadaya Yene Chapapaya Pashraya Shaya Shuddhanti Tasmai Prabha Vishnave Namaha.
Haribo, sadhu, sadhu. Nice. So we have to, by heart these verses. Sadhu sang, yadi, yadhi. भले वो कितना पापी है, पापी का लिस्ट बताया है ना. तो यदि अपाश्रयाश्रय, अपाश्रयाश्रय means if somebody takes shelter of a pure devotee, यदि अपाश्रयाश्रय शुद्धंति will get purified. Pure devotees will make us qualified. So that's why sadhu sangha is very important. Without sadhu sangha, you cannot mention even one person in the entire Vedas and Upanishads. So that's why associating with advanced devotees, we have to read Prabhupada books, Prabhupada purports, because he's an advanced devotee. That's why Diksha se pehle IDC course diya jata hai. What is the purpose of IDC course? To establish Prabhupada's position as a, preeminent Shiksha Guru. Without reading Prabhupada books, you will be confused. How even all Diksha Gurus has to follow Prabhupada's guidance. So it is very important to read Prabhupada books. In other words, those who are attached to Srimad Bhagavatam do not care for any kind of benefit derived from elevation to higher planetary kingdoms or for liberation which is conceived by impersonalists. As such, association of pure devotees is so transcendently valuable that no kind of material happiness can compare to it. Once Gaurang Prabhu was telling, the one round Hare Krishna chanting devotee is more advanced than the US president. You will get more happiness. The what one round Hare Krishna chanting. Can you compare? He doesn't chant one Krishna name, holy name. What is the use of becoming? One day will come, he will be kicked out of that post. No. When you throw the ball on top, it will come back surely onto this earth only. All material happiness will be vanquished by death. But spiritual happiness is not comparable to what we will get in association of devotee. One devotee was telling him, along with me, one devotee was serving. He was telling, Prabhu, RSS wale time mein aata hai, milna hai Prabhu, hum late jate hai. He was telling that, RSS people are very sincere, Prabhu. So I said, you foolish fellow, don't have value of pure devotional service. What is RSS? What is the other organization? They are fighting with Lati. We are fighting with our Astra is holy name. Our weapon is holy name, pure devotional service. They don't chant Hare Krishna, they don't read Shastras, then what devotional service it is? These are all mental speculations. Many such organizations will come. But pure devotional service, our fighting with Maya is by chanting Hare Krishna, pure devotional service, by what our spiritual masters have given, our Shastras has given. No, we should not compare ISKCON with any other organization. Ours is pure devotional service. So association of pure devotees is so transcendently valuable that no kind of material happiness can compare to it. And Rupa Goswami gives, we discussed till now about for all 64 items, Rupa Goswami was giving different evidences about six. So what is the evidences for associating with other advanced devotees? You can see here, Hari Bhakti Subodhaya is a conversation between Prahlad Maharaj and his father Hiranyakashipu, in which Hiranyakashipu addresses Prahlad in this way. Can somebody read here, from here? What Hiranyakashipu is telling to Prahlad?
Gautam Prabhu.
Gautam Prabhu is sitting in front of me. Okay.
My dear son,
1 minute. My mute person.
my dear son, association is very important. It acts just like a crystal stone.
You can ask another you.
Okay, Prabhu. Yes. Vishnu Prabhu.
Screen is not coming.
Wait 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yes. Can read this. What Prahlad, what Hiranyakashipu says to Prahlad Maharaj.
My dear son, association is very important. It acts just like a crystal stone, which will reflect anything which is put before it. Similarly, if we associate with the flower-like devotees of the Lord, and if our hearts are crystal clear, then certainly the same action will be there. Another example given in this connection is that if a man is potent and if a woman is not diseased, then by their conjugation there will be conception. In the same way, if the recipient of spiritual knowledge and the deliverer of spiritual knowledge are sincere and bona fide, there will be good results.
There must be good result. Why preaching will not happen? Either of these two. Either if both are proper, the reciter and hearer, if both are proper, there must be a result. Who will not get transformed in association of sadhu? It is so important. No? So Hiranyakashipu is telling you are taking somewhere association of Vaishnavas. That's why you are speaking like this. So he also knows the power of association. So Prabhupada is clearly telling here, if we associate with flower-like devotees of the Lord, and if our hearts are crystal clear, then certainly same action will be there. हम अगर किसी को हम जो भक्तों के संग में जैसा है वैसी वो भी वो बन जाएगा. So we saw that crystal clear, transparent clear, it should be. Here, if you see, if you associate with flower-like devotees and if our hearts are crystal clear, then certainly the same action will be there. So whatever we do, the things juniors also will follow. If you don't preach properly, if you are not setting example, then it cannot be preaching. So these two examples Rupa Goswami has given. So both should be bona fide, like Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, both are bona fide. So a transformation of heart takes place. Now 63rd item, chanting the holy name of the Lord. The importance of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is very strongly stressed in, second canto, first chapter 60, verse 11. Itan nirvidyamananam ichchatam akuto bayam yoginam nripa nirnitam harer namanu kirtanam. So this is very important verse. Can somebody read this translation?
Vishnu Prabhu, continue. You can continue.
O King, Constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and also those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge.
So everything what we are learning, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, everything will culminate in chanting. Chanting can give us everything. Holy name is the essence of everything. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama eva kevalam kalau nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatirannatha. If somebody doesn't chant Hare Krishna mantra, he cannot be considered as a devotee. How pure he may be, how good he may be, is not considered as a Vaishnava. So, this is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all. How many of you want success in your life, spiritual life? How many of you want? Raise your hands. So, I raise 2 hands. We want success in our life. So, what is a doubtless and fearless way of success for all? Huh? So, bear this verse. If you want to be successful, remember this. Doubtless and fearless way of success for all. Chant, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of great authorities. It is not something speculation. It is great authorities have given. Rupa Goswami, Shad Goswami, all are chanting holy name. Haridas Thakur was chanting holy name. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is chanting holy name. Narada Muni is chanting holy name. Prabhupada whole day is to chant. So, this is our current Acharya. They train us how to, how many Acharyas, current Acharyas have given training on holiness, japa reform and everything, sessions. Why chanting is the only way for success? Why we have to present how holy name is very important. Scriptures and seminars, everything, including those who are free from material desires. अगर कोई बोलेगा मैं तो शुद्ध हो गया हूँ, मेरे को जरूरत नहीं chanting. नहीं, even those who are free from all material desires, they also should chant. मैं शुद्ध हो गया, मेरे को जप करने को. एक व्यक्ति बोल रहा था, the person, Radhanath Maharaj was giving in his class, one person was trying to chant 64 rounds every day. Prabhupada said, chant 16 rounds and do some service. But he was chanting 64 every day. But one day, after a few months, he was not there. He landed up in petrol bunk. He said, now I chanted what is required for my entire life. Now I am doing this petrol pump service. So that is not, very important. So that's why one should always, properly, we should follow authorities. So even if you are purified, you should chant holy name. What to speak of others, those who did not get purified. Sadhana bhaktas, chanting at least 16 rounds, minimum. 16 rounds means 35 marks out of 100. कोई बोलेगा रिज्यूम लेके मेरा 35 मार्क्स है हर सब्जेक्ट. कंपनी प्लेसमेंट बड़ा कंपनी थोड़ी देगी 35 के लिए. So we have to chant more rounds. So those who are desirous of all in material enjoyment, if you have, for every person, हम सब डॉक्टर बन सकता है, कोई भी preacher बन सकता है ISKCON में. Just make you make people chant Hare Krishna and make them read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Prabhupada books. That much is enough. So even akama sarva kamo moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purushotparam. Whoever he may be, anybody can become preacher. क्या problem है, क्या disease है? Chant Hare Krishna. Anybody can. हम बचपन, we in our childhood we used to see in public, government hospital, They are fixed tablet, three big boxes. Whatever patient will come, the default medicine will come. Similarly, our medicine is same. Whichever guru you go in ISKCON, chanting Hare Krishna is compulsory. Right? So you have material enjoyment, you don't have material enjoyment, everybody has to chant Hare Krishna. Those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge, everybody, they all should chant holy name. So this is all very, very important. One. So Sukadeva Goswami tells Maharaj Parikshit. Can somebody read this? Why I am making you read this? You can remember. Otherwise we forget.
Vishnu Bro, continue.
My dear king, if one is spontaneously attached to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is to be understood that he has attained the highest perfectional stage.
If you want to know who is perfectly, perfection, who has perfected stage, who has reached, the person who is constantly chanting the holy name. So you can once, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was, going for, passing for one something, but he was catching the hold the tongue, should not chant at that time. So Gopal Guru said, even we should not chant even at that time. If we die, at that time, what will happen? So chanting a holy name is applicable for everyone, anytime, any place. So there is no wrong. Even while passing stool, we can chant holy name. There is no wrong in it. Should chant. So this chanting, constant chanting will make us that pure, we are pure. Once Prabhupada was asked, who is the bona fide guru? How we can understand the bona fide guru? One who is, 100% Krishna conscious, who is constantly chanting holy name. Okay. We can achieve all success by just chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yogis who are like here, it said it is specifically mentioned that karmis who are aspiring for the fruitive reactive results, salvationists who are aspiring for both, aspiring to become one with the Supreme Person, the yogis who are aspiring for mystic perfections, can achieve the results of all perfectional stages simply by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. By chanting, we can get all other process results. You don't need to do any other, like karma yogi result, jnana yogi results. Can we get by chanting Hare Krishna? Yes. We can get results of any other process by simply by chanting Hare Krishna. That is the greatness of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Nirnitam means what? Which it has already been decided. It's not like something now. It is there before even Satyuga. This process is there. It's not like just now it is created. It is already decided. He was a liberated soul and therefore could not accept anything which was not conclusive. Sukadeva Goswami spoke means it is compulsory. It must be referenced from the scriptures. No? So Sukadeva Goswami especially stresses that it has already been concluded that one who has come to the stage of chanting Hare Krishna mantra with determination and steadiness must be considered to have already passed the trials of fruitive activities, mental speculation and mystic yoga. Okay. So those who are chanting holy name with determination, with fixed number of rounds, they are very advanced. They have already surpassed many other process. Okay, can somebody read this Adi Purana reference which Rupa Goswami has quoted? Adi Purana, Padma Purana.
Continue, please.
Okay. Anyone who is engaged in chanting my transcendental name must be considered to be always associating with me. And I may tell you frankly that for such a devotee, I become easily purchased.
See, so the Rupa Goswami is quoting from Adi Purana. In that Purana, Krishna said that. Then Padma Purana. Read.
In the Padma Purana also, it is stated, the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is present only on the lips of a person who has for many births worshipped Vasudeva. It is further said in the Padma Purana, there is no difference between the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself. As such, the holy name is as perfect as the Lord himself in fullness, purity and eternity. The holy name is not a material sound vibration, nor has it any material contamination. The holy name cannot therefore be chanted offenselessly by one who has failed to purify his senses. In other words, materialistic senses cannot properly chant the holy names of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But by adopting this chanting process, one is given a chance to actually purify himself so that he may very soon chant offenselessly.
Chanting is the process of purification. Without chanting of the holy name, we cannot get purified. There is no better process than chanting holy name. And what is that? That process, the person who is giving instruction, the process what we are following, the end result what we have to achieve, all the three are Krishna himself, chanting holy name. There is no difference between Krishna and Krishna's holy name. Abhinnattam nama namino. So there is no nama and nami difference. Nahi hai different. There is both are same. Krishna and Krishna's holy name are the same. When you are chanting Krishna, means what? Krishna is present. So we should be careful. When we are sitting in front of deity, we take bath and we follow so many rules. But when we are chanting holy name, should be remain pure. If you are not pure, that means we cannot utter holy name offenselessly. Those who are pure, they can chant offenseless chanting. Offenseless chanting, Shuddhanam, one holy name, Krishna, can attract mercy so much. So one should chant without offenses. This not holy name is not material sound vibration, nor has it any material contamination. Holy name is pure. We may not be pure. This holy name is chanted by Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also chanted the same Mahamantra. There is no specific, वो हरिदास ठाकुर है तो है ना कुछ अलग मंत्र भी दिया होगा नहीं Haridas Thakur also chanted same Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everybody chants same. Okay, somebody can read this.
Everyone chant the Hare Krishna mantra just to cleanse the dust from the heart. If the dust of the heart is cleansed away, then one can actually understand the importance of the holy name. For persons who are not inclined to clean the dust from their hearts and who want to keep things as they are, it is not possible to derive the transcendental result of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. One should therefore be encouraged to develop his service attitude toward the Lord, because this will help him to chant without any offense. And so, under the guidance of a spiritual master, the disciple is trained to render service and at the same time chant the Hare Krishna mantra. As soon as one develops.
So, this is how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended. So, one should cleanse our heart from the, clean the dust. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsar. All things has to be cleared. Then only one can chant holy name, pure holy name. सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन मतलब क्या है, मेरे को वो चाहिए, मेरे को ये चाहिए, धनम ना जन्म ना सुंदरी, you know, we are, then only we can give pure things. Like if somebody is making impure items, we cannot offer it to Krishna. Our devotion also should be pure. Now, how it will be pure? First of all, we get purified by chanting. Then after that, when we get pure chanting holy name without any offenses, that is offering to Krishna. Fresh flowers we need to offer. The flower which is, deceased, one petal is very nice, another petal is short. We cannot offer such kind of flowers, deceased or anything. If some cooking is not proper, we cannot offer those items to Krishna. Similarly, our bhakti also should be performed with pure heart. That by pure heart we can get by chanting or holy name. No? So, if somebody says, okay, I may follow other process without chanting, no, that cannot be possible. Only we can cleanse our heart by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. No? We cannot have any other option. No? One should therefore be encouraged to develop this service attitude towards the Lord, and because this will help him to chant without any offense. And so, under the guidance of spiritual master, disciple is trained to render service at the same time chant Hare Krishna. You cannot, somebody may ask, service or chanting? Chanting is also a service. But we are sadhana bhaktas, we should follow under the guidance. If Guru tells chant 16 rounds and do some service, we have to do. Okay, last 64 item we will read. Can somebody read? These are last 4 are 5 potent items. We will discuss how potent these last 5 are. Okay, read this. Living in Mathura.
Abhishek Prabhu.
Oh, okay. To travel to different places of pilgrimage means to attain emancipation from material bondage. This emancipation, however, is not the highest perfectional stage. After attaining this liberated stage, one has to become engaged in devotional service to the Lord. After attainment of the Brahma Bhuta, Srimad Bhagavatam 4.30.20, liberation stage, one can further advance to engagement in devotional service. So, this attainment of transcendental loving devotional service to the Lord is the goal of life, and it can be achieved very easily for one who lives in Mathura Mandala, even for a few seconds.
Even for living for a few seconds, it can evoke bhakti, bhava. That vibrations are still there. Krishna lived there personally. Why we go for yatras? Even for a few seconds, if you go, that vibrations will evoke bhava bhakti in our heart. So, not just getting, if somebody tells, the attainment of Brahma Bhuta stage. Brahma Bhuta means neutral stage. That may give to Brahma Jyoti, but not if you want to enter inside the Vaikuntha and other places, planets, you have to have devotional service attitude. If somebody doesn't have that service attitude, you cannot just go and stand there and see. You have to do some service. So service is the perfectional stage. Service with chanting holy name, not just doing service. If you are able to do service with chanting holy name, that is the best. When we are cooking, when we are doing anything, any service, that should be accompanied by holy name. Otherwise, it is not successful much. If somebody who is living in Mathura Mandal, for him it is very natural. Even rickshaw wala bhi bolte Radhe Radhe. You will never find a place in Vrindavan, Mathura. Every place is vibrating. It's natural to become Krishna consciousness. That's why we go for yatras. we feel so happy, no? When you are returning, you see, when you are going, how you are, when you are coming out, you see how you are. No? That is called power of Dhamma. And that Dhamma is not only in Vrindavan, here also we can bring Vrindavan. Vrindavan is consciousness, environment, where whole people are trying to serve Krishna. Okay. Read this, Abhishek.
Uh, it is further said, who is that person who will not agree to worship the land of Mathura? Mathura can deliver all the desires and ambitions of the fruity workers and of the salvationists who desire to become one with the Supreme Brahman. Certainly, Mathura will deliver the desires of the devotees who simply aspire to be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord.
Okay, read that also.
In the Vedic literature, it is also stated how wonderful it is that simply by residing in Mathura, even for one day, one can achieve a transcendental loving attitude toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This land of Mathura must be more glorious than Vaikuntha Dham, the kingdom of God.
In NY, you have completed NY, no? No? In NY, very clear-cut description will come. What is the difference between Mathura, Vrindavan? Vrindavan is better than Mathura. Mathura is better than Dwarka. Dwarka is more better than Ayodhya. Ayodhya is more better than Vaikuntha. Like that, serial. Then in Vrindavan is the highest. In Vrindavan, Govardhan is best. In Govardhan, Radhakund, Shamkund are the best. Yeah. So that holy places, like when we go for Govardhan Parikrama, you'll see how Prabhupada last time when we were last ending time, he told that I want to do Govardhan Parikrama. You know how powerful it is. You know, so circumambulating, going to Mathura means here Vrindavan also. Rupa Goswami has written a book called Mathura Mahatmya. In that it is clear-cut description what all. In Mathura also Vrindavan comes, but Vrindavan, among the Vrindavan is one forest. And Vrindavan is 12 forests. Vrindavan is one forest, and that is very dear, very, very dear to Krishna. So going to those places, Krishna has performed dance here. Krishna, when you go for in Keshi Ghat, Krishna is to bathe here with gopis. Can you imagine? No? Krishna and gopis bathed here. Nanda Maharaj, Yashodama is to come here. They lived here. How nice, no? So Mathura, even non-devotee, you see how many people are going to Vrindavan. Still, our temples are also non-different than Vrindavan. Wherever Krishna is there, that is Mathura Vrindavan. No? So that is a 64th item. Now, anybody has doubts about 64 items? इनको बोलो थोड़ा करता बस कम मृदन
Prabhuji,
हाँ
one question, like here it was mentioned that one will attend that loving transcendental devotional service even if he lives for a second in Mathura. Right. So Prabhuji, although we see that there are many devotees in one sense, they are staying in Vrindavan Dham, Mathura, but still we could see that that what this loving transcendental devotion is mentioned over here, that we uh, uh,
we have to follow the rules that before going Mathura or Vrindavan, we need to take guidance of a spiritual. Without spiritual master guidance, one cannot go there to earn money and everything. They may go. Many people may be there, but we should not judge others. See, somebody who is what we don't know. Their spiritual master knows more better than us. They know what is their requirement and everything. But they surely get benefited by staying in Vrindavan. Prabhupada used to tell even pigs by eating, those who are lusty may become pigs in the Vrindavan. By eating Vrindavan mud, they become purified. Anarthas can be easily removed. It's not a big problem. One holy name can remove all unearths, but offenses are very deeper. That cannot be removed so easily. So one should be free from offenses. Holy name is dham. Holy dham is very powerful. No? Those who are doing offenses they may be facing some problems, but the spiritual benefit they are going to get at the time of death. You know? Okay. Yes, bro. Mandar.
So Broji, in 64 items, so means in the 6th chapter NOD, it was mentioned that out of 64, first 10 are very important. For a neophyte means who is just want to advance in bhakti. It is like starting phase. He will at least get stable.
Sadhana bhakti is for neophytes.
Yeah. So in that,
Advance means Raganuga bhakti.
and then after that, in the 44 remaining items, so 20 is like a neophyte has to perform so that he will become stable in at least sadhana bhakti. And then remaining 44 items, in that we saw that association of advanced devotees.
Yes.
While association of advanced devotee, generally we take it as a primary item. Means we generally think that by taking association of advanced devotees, we'll get advanced in bhakti.
Yes.
Similarly, means that 5 most important items which we say, living in dham, associating with devotees, hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So these 5 are like in all 64, these 5 are most important. It is like that.
All the things happen only in association of devotees. That is very important. Under spiritual master care only we can do all these things. No? Now, very good. So he asked what I expected. The question has come little near. So now we may ask one question. What is that? There are multiple times same item is repeated again and again in different places. Right? Among 64. What are those it is repeated again and again? We will see. Now, like this is a Waves of Devotion book. Are you able to see this? I will just increase the font.
Yes, Prabhu, you are able to see.
I will just so can somebody read this? It is these are all apparent contradictions which are Mathura, Vrindavan, you know. I will read, otherwise it takes time. The following items appears to be duplications. You know, like residing in a sacred place of pilgrimage like Dwarka or Vrindavan. Is your doubt is this?
Yes, but means one time it is given as primary item and then it is coming in 44 items also.
It is a repetition. It is a repetition, some items. So we are answering these things. So in item 7, residing in sacred place of pilgrimage like Dwarka or Vrindavan. Then going to, in 48, going to temple of Vishnu or to places of pilgrimage. In 55, one should live in sacred places like Mathura, Vrindavan or Dwarka. Item 64, one should live in jurisdiction of Mathura. So why? See, 7th item, 48th item, 58th item, and 64 item. It's repeating, same thing. Now we'll see the repeated mention of Mathura Vrindavan emphasizes its primary importance of sadhana bhakti. Right? How important it is. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama. Why 3 times? Only one thing you are telling. Why 3 times you say? That is stressing the importance. So item 7, and there are some differences in these also. We can see the differences. Item 7 refers the visiting specific holy places which include Dwaraka, Jagannath Puri, Ganga, etc. 48 refers to briefly visiting any holy place or temple of Vishnu. The original Vrindavan, and here going to Vishnu temple, at least visiting Vishnu temple is also holy dham, visiting. 55 refers exclusively to Mathura Vrindavan and especially mentions the effects of living there and serving the places in various ways. And 64 is indistinguishable from item 65, 55. The Sanskrit titles for both are seventh case singular, which indicates that their meaning is identical. So 64 and 55 are identical. Okay, and here there are some other repetition of items. Worshipping sacred trees. In item 10, worshipping sacred trees like banyan tree. One should pour water to the tulsi tree, can be distinguished from each other as follows. Item 10 refers to the respectful disposition one should have towards these entities. 53 refers to physical acts of service one should do for them. Respect is mentally, but serving, pouring water is physically. Yeah, there is difference. And here, singing and chanting. What is the difference in singing and chanting? Item 32, one must sing. Item 33, one must perform Sankirtana. Item 34, one must chant. Item 63, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra can be distinguished from each other as follows. Item 32, Geetam, refers to singing songs written in glorification of Lord. 33, Sankirtanam, refers to congregation. Together, everybody should chant Sankirtana. There is difference. Geetam and Sankirtanam. In English, looks like same terminology, but Sanskrit can differentiate that. Congregational chanting of Lord's name, pastimes, and qualities. Chanting means Sankirtana means we can tell even pastimes telling is also Sankirtan. Telling some glorifying names also is a Sankirtan. Glorifying qualities also is a Sankirtan. 64, Japa refers to quiet recitation of mantra. It is individual, one person is chanting. And together also, but that is one to one is very important. And 63 refers exclusively paramount importance of congregationally chanting the Lord's holy name. Okay. Others, Archana, serving deity, and item 31 refers to the service to the deity have been distinguished. Chapter 9. See, there are 35 referring offers prayers, 36 reciting notable prayers have been distinguished. So there are repetition and the importance of those things are very clearly described here. Item 45, remembrance and meditation have been distinguished. So we can go through these things, surrendering everything and becoming surrendered soul. So all these commonalities are addressed again. Now, next chapter is 5 potent forms of devotional service. We have completely discussed 64. Among 64, these 5 potent 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. These 4 are very powerful items. And first 5 and last 5 are very, 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 very important. First 5 and last 5. So these 5 are the first 5 are basic and the last 5 are the process. What Guru will give us, what we have to do. At least ये 5 में से एक भी, you see, Srila Prabhupada says that practices are so potent that a small attachment for any of the 5 items can arouse devotional ecstasy in neophyte. Even though you may be a neophyte, even attachment, slight attachment to any one of the 5 items can create ecstasy, devotional ecstasy, even in neophyte. Devotional ecstasy मतलब क्या है? भावा भक्ति. Here, devotional ecstasy refers to bhava bhakti. Neophyte in the context refers to one with a weak attachment. He don't have attachment to Krishna. Neophyte means what? He has attachment to sense gratification. But advanced devotee doesn't have any attachment to sense gratification. He has more attachment to Krishna. So one become, even he will also get attachment to Krishna. Even he is performing, little attachment to this one of these 5 items. You know? Thus, even a neophyte devotee with weak attachment to Krishna can quickly achieve bhava bhakti by practicing any one of these 5 most potent items. How powerful it is. Even at least one of these can create bhava in neophyte also. Yeah. So these are the potent items. Spiritual program for rapid advancement. पता है आपको पूरा सत्ययुग में, त्रेता युग में, द्वापर युग में किसी को पता नहीं कृष्ण का नाम. They cannot go to Vaikuntha. They cannot go to Golok Vrindavan. All places in one day of Brahma, one day in 1,004 cycles. One cycle is four yugas: Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. Among this is called one cycle. Like that, 1,000 cycles, only one Kali Yuga, one Dwapar Yuga, and Krishna and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. That is this time Lord Krishna personally appeared. Not every Dwapar Yuga Lord Krishna comes. Now we are so fortunate. So we are so fortunate, we are so advancing so fast. We don't know. The person who is sitting in the plane cannot understand how fast the plane is moving. You don't need to run inside the plane. Will you run inside the plane to go fast? Huh? If you want to go fast in the plane, you don't need to run inside the plane. You need to just sit inside the plane. Condition is you don't get down in middle. If you get down in middle, where you will land up, you don't know. Krishna consciousness is like a running in the plane. We are sitting in the plane. Plane itself is taking us. Just be in ISKCON, chanting 16 rounds. You will see where you will land up. So process is like that. So these 5 potents are very, 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 quickly. We are, by following these 5 items, we are very fastly advancing in Krishna consciousness. This is the proof, whether I am advancing or not. Any slight attachment to these 5 items prove that we are fastly advancing in Krishna consciousness. This is a proof of NOD. Rapid spiritual program for rapid advancement. Srila Prabhupada used the 5 most potent items as the pillars on which built the basic spiritual program of ISKCON. Chanting Hare Krishna daily, Srimad Bhagavatam class, lavishly deity worship, Guru Puja, serving a devotee, and establishment of extensive facilities in Mayapur and Vrindavan. Any one of these items can quickly arouse Bhava Bhakti even in neophyte. However, these powerful items will not bestow their effects as long as one commits an offense. Condition apply. If you do Vaishnava Aparadh, it cannot give you effect. If you take a gulab jamun in a plastic cover and if you chew it, you cannot get the taste. Similarly, those who do offenses cannot taste that Bhava Bhakti. So, Hati Mata, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you do aparadh, like Daksha, the offensive tendencies cannot be removed. Lust, काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मद, मत्सर ये सब निकाल सकता है. काम तो बहुत छोटी चीज है, सबसे छोटू है वो पाप. सबसे बड़ा enviousness to Vaishnavas, murdering, everything, enviousness. So, Vaishnava aparadh person cannot taste the advancement. Any of the offense, any of these items can quickly arise Bhava Bhakti, but no offense. Thus, a devotee who wants to make rapid advancement should focus on these 5 most potent items. Very diligently avoid offenses, especially offenses to Vaishnavas. Probably 99% of the Vaishnavas fall prey to this bad habit of finding fault with Vaishnavas. Probably 99% advancement is blocked due to this Vaishnava aparadh. If you don't do Vaishnava aparadh, just our ISKCON morning program has all 5 potent items. All 5 you have. By just following, chanting 16 rounds, following morning program, you can go back to Godhead at the end of your life. You may be a working devotee, you may be a woman, maybe you may be anarthas, still you can go back to Godhead. That can be cleared very easily by following these 5 items. Yeah? How each item can evoke bhava? There should be proof. Okay, you'll read. Worshipping the deity. Srila Rupa Goswami composes a beautiful metaphor to illustrate the special efficacy of deity worship. My dear friend, if you still have any desire to enjoy company of your friends within the material world, then don't look up the form of Krishna, who is standing on the bank of Keshi Ghat. He is known as Govinda. His eyes are very enchanting. He is playing on the flute, and his head there is peacock feather, and his whole body is illuminated by moonlight in the sky. Don't look at Krishna standing, bending, fold in the Keshi Ghat. You will give up very easily all material desires. You will give up all material desires. So be careful. Keshi Ghat ka Krishna, बहुत danger hai. So what is a metaphor of this saying this statement? The type of poetic metaphor condemns. What we have to learn from that? So we don't need to go to Vrindavan, especially in Keshi Ghat. What is the meaning of saying that statement? So what is the meaning is that what it seems to prize and prizes, what it seems to be condemned, sense gratification has to be condemned in front of Krishna. After seeing Krishna also you are still doing sense gratification. That means you didn't see Krishna. Thus it instructs one to see beautiful deity of Govinda in Vrindavan and thereby become completely indifferent to the attractions of the material world. If somebody has attraction to the material world, that means he don't have attraction to Krishna. Complete indifference is one of the 9 symptoms, Bhava Bhakti, namely Virakti. Those who are advanced in Krishna, Yad Vadi Mama Cheta Krishna Padara Vindayo Navanava Dhama Siddhantu Asit. So, Bhavadi Mama Chitta Krishna Padara Vindayo. When our mind is engaged in lotus feet of Krishna, then Chushta Vikara. Where one remembers the sense gratification, it feels like spitting. Yamunacharya's commentary on that. That means they are really taking darshan of Krishna in Keshi Ghat. Here in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Rupa Goswami composes a similar metaphor, calling a friend foolish. Calling a friend foolish for having heard the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and thereby becoming completely indifferent to the wonderful activities of dharma, artha, kama and moksha, He thus poetically instructs us to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, which is so glorious that even the 4 goals of human life are insignificant in comparison. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha becomes very insignificant by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. You know? Denunciation of even liberation is characteristics of Bhava Bhakti, namely Moksha Lagata Krut. Moksha becomes insignificant. Srila Rupa Goswami thus shows the hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, especially 10th canto, can quickly evoke devotional ecstasy, bhava, even in the neophyte. So, we'll discuss remaining 2-3 items, and we will conclude in the next class. Anybody has any doubts till now? We'll go through Prabhupada purports also, and we'll conclude in the next class this 5 most potent items. If possible, you all also can read and come. It will be very nice. These 5 potent, what you are reading is very, 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 very important. Without these 5 potent items, 64 principles, among these first 5 are the basic, last 5 is the essence. Any one item, if you have attachment, it's a great success. Somebody is very attached to hearing lectures of Guru. Somebody is reading, very attached to reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Somebody is attached to going to Holy Dham. Somebody is attached to deity worship. Somebody is attached to holy name, chanting. All these 5 can create bhava, even in neophyte stage. Okay, but caution, note that free from offenses. If you commit a Vaishnava aparadh, this will not apply. Your bhava, taste in Krishna consciousness is based on offense. You should be free from offenses. Condition apply. Neophyte means you should not do offense. Neophyte without offenses can get bhava bhakti also. That's why when we are preaching, senior, junior, equal are very, very important. So that the person can relish bhava bhakti. Okay? Hare Krishna. Any doubts you all can into doubts? Otherwise we can end. Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.